Okay, so today we are here to talk about this guy here, which is the Traktorino. So this is the Nerd Musician, and my name is Gustavo. Maybe you know a little bit about me. I'm Brazilian, I live in Brazil, and I took this crazy journey, which is developing hardware here in Brazil, which is very hard. The reason is, first, the reason that I am doing this is a MIDI controller, fully functioning MIDI controller. I'm going to plug it in later, and what it does, it just controls whatever DAW you use. It's called Traktorino because it was first inspired by Traktor, which is the DJ software, but you can use it with actually any DAW, like Ableton Live, Logic, but it's mainly intended for DJs. And so it has the mixer style, has some buttons. We're gonna talk a little bit about what they do. And the Traktorino actually started a long time ago. Actually started, I guess, in 2018. And if I say like from the beginning, it actually started, or when I started was when, like 2016, when I actually started to teach people here how to build those MIDI controllers. And that became a couple years ago my full-time job, teaching people how to build MIDI controllers. What a crazy job, right? Do you know anybody that works with that? Because I don't. But usually what I do is that I create a project, a MIDI controller. Maybe not as fancy like that. Maybe something like this pile of buttons here, which is a launch pad, or this mixer inspired in the Minimoog. I should have got those to show you closer, but doesn't matter. So what I usually do is that I make a project, something that maybe for myself or something that people ask for, and I share how to do it. And I also have a course which is called the Nerd Musician Pro, or in Portuguese I have the Fazendo Música com Arduino, making music with Arduino, where I teach people how to build basically any kind of MIDI controller. If you're a DJ, a music producer, audio engineer, electronic musician, you can benefit from building your MIDI controller. However, a lot of people don't have time or feel a little bit insecure of building themselves, right? Sometimes maybe a lot of people are, and I didn't think much about it, but talking with friends, a lot of people are actually very afraid of soldering, you know? And it's just something that people are not used to. It seems that it's hard, it's dangerous, or you're gonna fuck it up. But it's just a little bit of practice, and you're good at it. But I get it. I think I was that before. I was like that before. So a lot of people don't want to build their MIDI controllers, and a lot of people ask me, "Can you do one for me? Can you build a custom MIDI controller for me?" And although that's how I started, that's really hard because it takes a lot of time. And you can't charge that much because it's not like you're building a guitar, you know? You're building an electric guitar that the wood makes a difference, all the pickups make a difference, and all the handwork, and you can charge more money. So it's not really worthy for me to build unit by unit custom MIDI controllers. Although I'm going to this path in the future, not exactly building one by one custom, but with another project that's going to be maybe my next project. Maybe if I have time, we're gonna talk about it here. But anyways, a lot of people just want a fully built MIDI controller for you to play, right? But the problems are, if you want a MIDI controller, you can build one yourself, okay? And building yourself, it's very cheap, but takes time from you. And buying a MIDI controller off the shelf, like a Traktor Z1, depending on where you live, it's not that expensive, but depending, it is very expensive. Like in Brazil, it's expensive. And also, it's a closed project. You can't customize it, you can't make it different, you can't add parts, meaning that's not open source. So what I want to do here is making something, and for my next project, hardware project, is making something that's in the middle of that. Something that can be affordable, and has customization possibilities. It's open source. You can modify, you can add things, but also it's affordable. And there's a level of do-it-yourself, you know? So how can I do that? So that was something I have been thinking about. Because back in 2018, I made the first version of the Traktorino. It was a printed circuit board, which is this thing here. And I have it somewhere. I guess this is gonna be hard to see. I should have got that, but I'm not gonna get it now. But it's this black thing. It was black before. It's a printed circuit board where you solder a lot of things. You had to solder all the LEDs, all the resistors, everything you have to solder, the small components and the big components. And that takes some time, and there's more room to screw it up. And at the time I was doing my master's, I was in the United States, I was studying there. I had other things on the table. But when I shared the project, actually, it got very popular. It went viral in the maker community, and a lot of people asked me to do it, but I was still not able to do it. There was other people that started to actually manufacture the Traktorino and sell. You know, I know a guy that he changed the design. It was very cool. So, coming back to today, I have a bunch of projects, a couple ones that, like, each project like this takes a lot of time. It's a lot of work. It's designing a printed circuit board in all its aspects. It's the circuit, it's the design, it's the graphics, it's designing an enclosure. It's thinking about the design. It's making mistakes and making it again, and spending money and losing money and spending more money and making it better and better. So it is hard. So what I found as an idea, and this is, we are exploring for the first time this idea here of launching this product. It's a lab, let's say. We're doing this together and seeing how it will work. It will work, but how it will work. So what I thought is for a way for you to have it in different levels of complexity. Like, you can buy just the PCB, and the PCB, this one, different from the first Traktorino, has all the SMT, which are those tiny components already soldered. So it comes from the factory like that. So most of the work, you don't need to do it. So let's say you can solder the Traktorino, I guess, which is soldering the bigger parts like potentiometers, buttons, maybe in 15-20 minutes. It's very fast. It's very easy to solder the bigger components. But anyways, you can buy this and you can source the components yourself. Like, maybe you live close to a shop that has the components. The components here are actually not that easy to find, like in your local shop, but maybe you have an online shop that you like. Maybe you live in the United States or any other country that has Mouser. Mouser is a place that has all sorts of components you can think of, like DigiKey or LCSC. So if you want, maybe you want to buy the best potentiometers possible that it's going to last a lifetime. You know, maybe you want to buy potentiometers that have center detent, which is that click in the middle, because the ones I'm gonna buy, I'm not 100% sure, but I think that they will not have it, but maybe they will. I'm not quite sure yet. You know, maybe you want to buy a certain brand of components, so you're just going to buy the PCB, and then you're gonna buy the other components yourself, and then you're going to solder. So this is for people that like to be more hands-on, like to solder, like to source things, more for the maker side, because a lot of my audience are makers, people that already do things with Arduino, and also like music, like to make things, musical things, instead of robots like most of people do with Arduino, you know? Object, you make robots to avoid objects, or I don't know, play with LEDs. When you follow the nerd musician, you learn that you can use the Arduino to make music. But maybe you are a musician, you are a DJ, you are audio engineer, and you never soldered anything, or you just don't have the time, or you just don't want to, so you just want the thing ready, right? I'm going to disassemble this soon and show you. I should have done the opposite, right? Make it disassembled and assemble in front of you, but I'm gonna disassemble. I didn't have the time. So maybe you are this person. So I will sell the PCB with all the components soldered. This will be one option too. you can get just the PCB with all the components soldered. Then you can buy, or you don't want to solder anything, but you still want some level of customization. Or maybe you don't want to buy the enclosure from me because the enclosure will be shipped, everything will be shipped from China, and something that I'm going to talk today. Maybe you don't want to buy the enclosure or the knobs, maybe you want different color knobs. You just buy the PCB with everything soldered, and you download the files because it's open source. You can download the files of the enclosure, and maybe you can print in your local, in your hometown, because it's a piece of acrylic here in the top, a piece of PCB that you can actually make it in acrylic too, and you're gonna see later, without the 3D printed part, you don't need the 3D printed part. So maybe you just buy the PCB with the components from me, and you print or you laser cut locally. I have a place here in my hometown that I can laser cut very cheaply, you know? So you can laser cut, you buy the spacers, all those things are easy to find locally. The PCB, no, and the components more or less, but the enclosure, it's easy. And then you can also add the 3D printed enclosure, because the 3D printed mounts in the rest of the enclosure, or let's say you need the acrylic part and the bottom to work with the 3D printed part. Only the 3D printed part, at least my version, doesn't work by itself. So you see that you have options, and once you have these options, you can buy it spending little money, you know? So we can check that part of affordable, because you can source those things locally. It depends on how much work you want to have, right? Or maybe you just want all the parts in your mailbox at home, and you still have something to make it DIY, let's say, to say I built it, because it comes and I'm gonna disassemble for you. The parts will come separate, like the knobs will be separate, the PCB will come soldered, everything, you don't need to solder anything, but the acrylic comes separate, and the only thing you need to do is screwing the screws, and you built your MIDI controller, right? So with these options, I can make it affordable, because what is most expensive, there's many different things going on here, but what is most expensive when you buy something is the enclosure, because a solid plastic enclosure injection mold, you need to buy it like many thousand units. It's very expensive, and also to assemble, because then you need manual labor, you know, so those things add cost. So once you buy a kit, you are taking off the manual labor of assembling all the enclosure and making everything. So doing that, buying all those parts from China, shipping to a warehouse in China, I can then ship from there to your place. This way I can reduce the cost as much as I can. You still get a very, very good MIDI controller, you know, and I think looks great. To be honest, I fucking love it. You see with the LEDs, and maybe you saw in the, I don't know if you have the link here for the, and Nicholas, if you don't have the link here for the, I'm gonna actually type here in the comments. In our shop, you see more pictures and more videos, and there you have all the information, right? And there's a video with a DJ from here, a friend, DJ Vespa. He's very good. He's amazing. And I'm not a DJ, so I'm not going to be able to do actual nice music for you today, but you can see the video there in our website. So I guess that's the intro. I mean, I don't have much more than that to say. I know I do have about early bird price, those things like that. But before, I'm going to read your comments here to see if there's any question. JP Money said that he doesn't need convincing. He just here for the vibes. He already dropped 150 on the pre-order. Thank you. Pablo says your project's fine. I'm using all that I learned from your videos to make a surface control MIDI dedicated for Raspberry Pi. Wow, that's very nice. So you're going forward in building your VST host. Very cool. Annie, I guess you said that like you want everything soldered, right? So I'm going to show you our website here. And just before that, I just want to thank you some people that have been helping me a lot. So Nicholas, he's here in the comments. Nicholas, he's amazing. He does all the marketing and a lot of things else. Your emails, he's writing. So thank you, Nicholas. Nicholas, he's a musician too. Thanks. I don't know if he's here, but André Solis. André, he's a designer. He actually designed this 3D printed enclosure. Look at that. Look at that, right? And it fits beautifully everything. It's great. And DJ Vespa, Marcelo, I don't know if he's here, but anyways, thank you all, guys. Thank you so much. Let me show here our website. Here's what you see, and I do have a website in Portuguese for you Brazilians. It's the only difference is the price is in reais and the text is in Portuguese, but payment gateways are the same. So anyways, what I want to say here is let's go part by part here. Let's talk a little bit more technical about the controller. I'm looking here because it's going to remind me. Okay, so it's modular and plug and play. Why modular? Because when you see the PCB, for example, here, here you have these holes here. Here are extra pins that in the Arduino, in the board, in the brain, that you can connect more things. So the Traktorino actually can have more things. So you can add a module, more buttons, or maybe a jog wheel, and things that I'm going to add in the near future. So it's modular in a way that's expandable. So my goal with the Traktorino is that you buy this, and instead of like, oh, okay, now I need 4 decks or I need buttons, so I'm going to just throw it away and buy a new MIDI controller. No, you keep the core and then you add a module. So it's a MIDI controller. It works in any DAW. It's low cost, open source. Already talked. Open source, that the code, the hardware, the design, everything will be on my GitHub. It's not there yet because I need to still make adjustments. So it's perfect for you to use it. I use an Arduino Pro Micro, and it's plug and play. You just plug it and it works. You don't need any extra software. And also it gets your hands on to start building things, you know. And once, like, just building the enclosure already gives you the feeling of building something, and maybe you will want then to buy my course to learn how to build more things. So what do we have here? We have potentiometers. So let's talk about components. We have potentiometers. Some people call it knobs. And I have here graphics. For example, this I usually use with filter, low, mid, high, gain. So deck A and deck B. We have a rotary encoder, which are those endless potentiometers, let's say, which is rotary encoder, that I use it for a couple things, but it's pretty versatile. The magic of the encoder that you can make different things with it. So usually I use to browse the library, so you can choose your library, choose your song, and it has a click. So for example, you can do this or press and do this. You access another function. So for example, you can browse the library, and then you press, you can browse the folders. And everything is, you can configure in Traktor or whatever DAW to do whatever you want. I already have the mapping for Traktor. New mappings are coming. And we have buttons. The previous Traktorino, it had tactile buttons, small tactile buttons, which are not good. These are the same buttons that you have in computer keyboards, those mechanical switches. They're very great. They're great to play, and they are translucent. I have translucent caps because they have LEDs below them, so they glow, and you can actually change colors. So you can configure the colors of the buttons. And we have slide potentiometers. We have a crossfade. Here we have a button that I use as a shift button. So with shift and pairing with other buttons, potentiometers, or the rotary encoder, you can access lots of different functionalities in your DAW. So it's very compact. You see, you can put in your backpack, very easy to carry, and it's very powerful. You know, with this shift and the encoder, you can, it's limitless what you can do. And we have the LEDs, which we're gonna see in a few moments, for LED feedback. So let's take a look here, and let's take a look in the board. So I'm going, it uses a USB-C. So you can see now that we have the buttons changed colors, or they have colors now. Something very cool I want to show you that I'm very proud of doing, which is I added the color editing mode. So let me show you. For you to edit the colors, so you press Shift and these two buttons here, load A and load B, together for 3 seconds, and now you are in color editing mode. Okay, now you can see this LED. So once you can see very well the colors, but let's say here you change the hue of the LED. So let's say I want blue. So now, yeah, you can see that, but this is blue. Now I can, let's say, paste the color in the buttons that I want. So now all my buttons are blue. So once I load it in Traktor, all my colors will be blue. But of course, the nice thing is that you can actually change and choose whatever colors you want, so to fit your style. The other thing here is that we can configure the brightness. So this is the note on brightness. So when the thing is activated, like you pressed play and the music's playing, so this is the brightness. And with this one, you can control the brightness of the note off. So when the thing is off, right? So you can differentiate when something is on or off. So I'll leave it about here. And here with the crossfade, you can control the brightness of the view. So you're looking straight to the LEDs. So here you're not looking straight to the LEDs. It's been diffused by the caps and the buttons. But the LEDs of the views, you are looking straight at it. So you might want to decrease the brightness. Like, this will make you blind. You see, it's very bright. So I like it. I mean, just like that. Okay, so once you are happy, you press the encoder button and you saved in the memory. So you can unplug and plug again. You can see that they came back with the colors that you saved. So Theo is asking, are those MX Cherry keys? Yes, those are Cherry keys, MX Cherry keys. Let me see. Theo, trust me, Gustavo is a legend and he has the vision. Thanks, Theo. Actually, me and Theo are working in a very big project together. It has taken some time, a long time, but we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. And I believe that the Traktorino, for me, it's gonna open the doors of possibilities of how to implement those projects. Okay, so let's open Traktor. Okay, let me show you the screen. So first, here in Traktor, I'm going to provide the mapping. Here you're going to load the Traktorino mapping, so you don't need to map anything, but you can modify. And also you need to select the Traktorino here in and out. I didn't change the name yet, so it's not called Traktorino, it's just this USB rename demo. It has to be in and out. And we should be good to go. So for example, if I move my encoder here, and it's very responsive, I can select a track. And once I'm happy with the track, these buttons here, the two first, are load A and load B. So I can press load A, and I have no idea what those tracks are, but I can press load B. The tracks are there. This button here is play. So if I play, so it's playing, right? Here I have the volume. I have my highs, mids, lows, and here I have the filter, but I have to turn on the filter. So I have this button here, filter off, filter on. And I can then play the second track, and I can press this button, which is sync. And as I said, I'm not a DJ, so I'm just showing the possibilities here. And for example, this button is, let me make it a little bit bigger. This button here is sync. So I have the buttons that I have are sync, cue, play, and listen. Here, listen, you can listen with if you have an external audio interface. And I'm going to sell an external audio interface, a very simple one, which is this. I'm going to talk about it later. Oh, you can't hear the music. You can't hear? Oh, I guess now you can, right? I'm sorry. Please let me know if now you can hear the music. Okay. Yeah, you didn't miss much. You didn't miss much, but it works. So, okay, you see, it works. It works. What I want to show is that, for example, okay, we have play here. If I press Shift, now those 4 buttons become cues. You know, so cue 1, 2, 3, and 4. And also if I press Shift and I move the potentiometers, for example, now you can see in the top left, I am actually controlling an effect. See? So if I release, here I'm controlling that effect. If I release Shift, now I'm back to controlling high. So you can have those different functionalities with shifts and encoders. For example, if you press Shift and the filter and the encoder, you can now browse through the track. Or if I press Shift and the filter on off here from deck B, and now the same encoder, I can browse here. You can go like a jog wheel. Basically what I'm doing here is using my encoder and my shift with in combination with the other button to use it as a jog wheel. So you don't actually need a jog wheel. And there's different mappings for you to use like a jog wheel. You can go like beat per beat, or you can do like that. Anyways, it's pretty flexible here. Let me see some questions. Links are there. Just a micro or a multiplexer too? Okay. Pablo asked if there's a multiplexer. Yes, a multiplexer is those guys here. There's one here and one here. They multiply the number of inputs of your Arduino. The Arduino Pro Micro doesn't have enough pins for all those components. So I used 2 multiplexers. So each multiplex can add 16 inputs. So this gives me room for the extra components. And since now I'm using those LEDs, those are addressable LEDs. The same kind of LED you have in a LED strip, for example. They only require 1 pin of the Arduino, so that's very good. So I don't need bit shifters to add a lot of LEDs. What else? Let's see. Felipe Andrade, just passing to issue all the best. Thank you, man. Thanks so much. Vidvox, is there a way to get the acrylic case and 3D printed housing? Yes. Okay, so let's come back here to I diverge. So first, okay, I was talking about the features. That's why I was all over the place, because I was talking about the LED feedback. That's what I wanted to show. So you saw that we have the view, right? So we have all the LED feedback you could ask for. So what is a pre-order? Because I'm doing a pre-order. Maybe you have heard about Kickstarter, right? Which is a crowdfunding platform, which we're not using. But a crowdfunding usually works like that. You pay money up front, and then the person gets all this money to buy everything, and then ships everything a couple months later. So why? Because to manufacture things like that, you need a lot of money up front, because you need to buy parts in larger quantities. So I need to buy at least 2,000 potentiometers, 2,000 rotary encoders, a lot of PCBs, you know, and the more I buy, the cheaper it gets. So it makes sense to make a pre-order. I was going to do a Kickstarter, but when I went to do the website, it asked me to have a business in the United States or any of their countries, and they don't accept a business from Brazil. So basically that's what's going to happen. You're buying now, and later, so from October 9 to October to November 9, we are doing the pre-order, which is basically a discount, so you buy it with the best price. But then we are going to keep selling it. But around November, December, I'm going to make adjustments in the PCB. There are some things I want to change, some things that I need to tweak, and then I need to make a prototype again and order. So that takes at least a month. Meanwhile, I'm going to buy the components, and when the PCB is 100% ready, I'm super happy with it. I ship the components to the manufacturer, to the factory, which I guess it's going to be JLC PCB or something like that, and then they will solder the components so I can have the soldered PCBs for you. Once I get everything soldered, I'm also going to purchase the acrylic sheets and also the 3D printed housings. It depends on how many units I buy, but yes, you can buy from me the acrylic. You see the enclosure basic or the 3D printed enclosure. You can buy it from me. So everything is going to a warehouse in China, and then I'm going to get all the purchases sent to them, an Excel spreadsheet, whatever, and they will ship it for you. So expect around, hopefully, February. Delays can happen, real life, but hopefully at latest in March we'll be shipping everything. So what are the advantages of buying now? So what are the things you can buy? So you can buy the bare PCB, which I already talked, which is just this. If you buy until October 11, so 2 days from now, you only pay $19. $19, very cheap. And then we have, so we have the super early bird, which is the first 3 days. So the first 3 days are the days you have to buy with the best price possible. Then we have the early bird, which is the first week. So it's until October 16th. And then the pre-order price, which is a month from now, which is November 9th. And then the regular price, the price that I will sell the Traktorino, the normal price, okay? So after I buy everything, my plan is to have everything ready to go, right? I don't want to make pre-orders. I'm not 100% sure, but my plan is to buy as much as I can so I have in stock. So after a couple months, people who buy from me in my shop, they get shipped right away. So now you get the cheaper price, but you get a slower shipping. You don't get it now, and you help to fund this project. You help a guy that's in the southernmost Brazil doing hardware, MIDI controller, open source. You help me. You help the community, you help this dream come true. But if you don't buy it now, you can buy it later, just a little bit more expensive, and I have all the prices here in the website. So the bare PCB, you have the PCB fully populated. So I want to show now, see if I can disassemble this for you, just to see how it is. So we have, hope I don't get you that. So I have this first screw here. Those are six screws. Let me do this as quick as I can. You can do it by hand, but this... Just a moment. You can do this by hand, but I mean using a screwdriver. But using this machine here always work. I mean, always help. Okay. So this is the top part of the Traktorino. You can see the Arduino Pro Micro here. And, oh, of course, I need to take off the knobs. Okay, you're gonna see this live, me having some work here. But that's fine. Just to show you, it's very practical. It's not hard at all to... I'm not showing assembling, but disassembling is just assembling in reverse. Okay, I can take this off now. So this is the top part of the acrylic. We have some 8mm spacers. Oh, the knobs that come with the enclosure basic, I'm gonna show you the enclosure, what we have in the enclosure basic. But those knobs are good. They are like rubbery. They are very nice. I'm not going to take the button caps, all the button caps, but that's a button cap. So the PCB, okay, I'm gonna take it off. I'm here already, just to show you exactly what you get. So once you buy the fully populated PCB, this is what you get, okay, with everything here. This is already a MIDI controller. You can plug it and it will work. You can purchase the knobs yourself or however you want. So then you have the basic enclosure. The basic enclosure is, let me take this off now, just a moment. So the basic enclosure is that, just a moment. Just a little bit of music to your ears, I guess. I never assembled a MIDI controller live. I should that once. Should do. Okay. Whew. So the basic enclosure, which is this option here, basic enclosure, comes with the top, which is the acrylic, the bottom, and all those things here, all the knobs and caps and spacers and screws. This is your basic enclosure. So when you buy these two, they work on their own. So, oh shit, I don't have the other spacers, but you're going to add another spacer here and the bottom, so it will work like this. Sorry, like this. And only this is already the enclosure. I just didn't get the other spacers, but you have 6 a little bit bigger spacers. You'll see the pictures in the website. It's this thing here. You can see that you have the bottom, the main PCB, and the acrylic. And this is already a fully functioning MIDI controller enclosure. And it comes also with the knobs. And you can get the 3D printed enclosure, which is this. So you can see that it's hollow, so it needs the basic enclosure to work. You know, it mounts here and then you saw it, you put it here. You just don't need the extra 6 spacers that the basic enclosure needs, you know? So either you use the basic enclosure, or the basic enclosure plus the 3D printed enclosure. So again, the 3D printed enclosure don't work on its own. It needs the basic enclosure to work. So it's an add-on, let's say. Oops, it's like this. Come on, come on. Okay. And what else we have here? We have this tiny audio interface. Of course, it doesn't have the quality of a Foxrite or something like that, you know, but it does have, it's actually 5.1, but what you want is 2 channels, like a stereo front, so it goes to the PA, and the here, for example, it's another 2 channels that you can plug your headphones, and this way you can do what you do with those MIDI controllers, those big MIDI controllers you buy, you know, that they have an audio output, and you can connect your phone and the PAs. So the Traktorino doesn't have that, but with this together, you can have all that functionality, you know? You can send audio to the PAs and audio to your headphones. This way you can hear the next track only in your phones, you know, so you know exactly where you are and to mix the song properly, just like the pros do, you know? Yeah, Sound Princess said that, like, let me see the questions here. So is there a way to get the acrylic case and 3D printed housing? Yes. Is there a way to adjust the crossfader curve on the controller? Oh, not yet, but that's definitely something I can add to the code. So then I also plan to make a wiki to show you how to edit the code. Right now, most of the things you can add, like the LEDs, you can edit here. You don't even need to edit to get to the code. But I will make a wiki on how you can edit things like that. But I can just make a part of the code, for example, and create a curve for the encoder. For the crossfade, and then teach you make a quick video or put in the wiki where you need to go to actually adjust the curve. So those are things that we're gonna have a forum in the GitHub that you can add requests, and once I have the requests, I can start implementing them, and then I upload the new code, and you can just upload the new code to the Arduino. So the 3D printed enclosure also includes the acrylic housing and a full controller, correct? No. So let me show you here how you buy it. You have the different items. You can buy only the Traktorino PCB, which is this. You can get the Traktorino PCB fully populated, right? And those are separate items that you will add to your cart. Or you can get the basic enclosure, which is this. This is the basic enclosure, which you add here today for $39, and or you add the 3D printed shell. So you actually need to add both. Okay, if you want to use the 3D printed, you need to actually add both the 3D printed and the basic enclosure. And if you want the extra audio interface, which is this thing, you can add it here. And I also added, if you want to study with me, if you want to learn how to build your MIDI controllers, I added my Nerd Musician Pro course, which is where I teach everything I know. There's a course, the whole course about how to build MIDI controllers, how to use the components, the code, where I teach how to basically just adapt my code. You don't need to learn from scratch. You just, I want that many buttons, and then you just change a number. I want that many potentiometers. You just change that number of potentiometers. Now, I want my potentiometers to be control change 1, 2, 3, and 4. You just type the numbers. So I teach how to build MIDI controllers in what is, for me, the easiest way possible. But also in the Nerd Musician Pro, I have... Actually, it's a 3-course bundle. The Making Music with Arduino, which is what I just talked about. I have the KiCad PCB design software. KiCad PCB design is where I teach how to design printed circuit boards. So you can make things like that. Maybe you want to also make your own products. Maybe you want to sell. Maybe you want to become a millionaire. That will help you out. And if you want to learn how to code, I have the Arduino programming course. So actually the Nerd Musician Pro, which is this, contain all of that. And each course usually I sell for $97, which in total is $291. But if you get the Traktorino, or during this pre-sale, you can get for only $97, which is the same price that I sell during Black Friday. So also the cheapest price possible. So is it clear, more or less, how you can get the different items? Let me see here. Yeah, Sound Princess said that's a little bit confusing because it shows in the pictures. I hope that with this video it gets more clear, and that in the page the explanations here are make it clear. If not, please let me know still in the comments. Send me a message. You can send whatever comment. I just want to make this better and easy for you, okay? What else? So I hope that's clear now. Sound Princess said, I noticed there are screw sockets on the 3D printed enclosure. If I choose to print it myself, I'm gonna need to install those. Great question. Sound Princess mentioned about those screws. Those are heat inserts. So the next version of this won't have this. I wanted to make this one like that. I wanted to experiment, but thinking about people that want to print at home or just to sell like that, the next version won't have that. You will screw straight to the plastic with different kinds of screws. So that's already in my plan. So this is another thing I need to change in the project. So you'll be able to print in your house without this, using the next design. Ani Atsuko asked, a gente pode ligar direto no computador. Can we connect straight to the computer? So yes, it's a USB-C. You connect straight to the computer or even your smartphone. It will work with a smartphone. I guess there are like many apps, DJ apps, that you can connect to the smartphone. So it's what we call MIDI class compliant, which means that when when you connect to a computer or smartphone, it is recognized as a MIDI USB device. So just like a mouse is recognized as an Age ID device. A MIDI controller is recognized as a MIDI USB device. So you connect straight to the computer. Also doesn't need a power supply. I guess those are the questions. If you have more, let me just go through the rest of the page. So again, here is the timer for you to buy with the super early bird discount. So just more 2 days. So highly recommend you to get it now because it's the cheapest. I don't get as much money, but I get more people buying, so that's cool. Here's some things you can take a look. People that already talked about the Traktorino. As I mentioned, the previous Traktorino, a lot of people shared, like it was shown in Arduino, Hackaday, DJ Tech Tools. So pretty nice things, like Synthopia. A lot of people talked about it. A little bit about the history, and I guess that's it. So if you want to buy it, for example, you will click, let's say I want to buy the complete package. I will click here in the PCB fully populated. I'm going to add to cart, and I'm going to continue shopping. Then I'm going to add the basic enclosure, add to cart. So see that this is already a MIDI controller, fully functioning. You don't need anything else. Just the fully populated PCB and the basic enclosure. You can have a fully functioning MIDI controller, and look how much, $98 for a project that you are helping to make it happen. Looks great, works great, open source, yada yada yada. Okay, but if you want to add more, you can click on products, and I want now to add the 3D printed shell. So I'm going to add to cart, and okay, maybe that's it. Maybe you want to add the audio interface, whatever. View cart, and then check out something that's very, very important. Oh, my name's Teste. Please include your tax ID. Like if you're from Brazil, your CPF. I need that, because if you don't have your CPF, they're going to complicate in the alfândega. And something very important, all the taxes, for example, in Brazil, we have to pay import taxes and ICMS, ICMS, which add a lot to the cost, you know? Maybe you don't get taxed, maybe you get, but that's a price you will have to pay later. It's not included here, you know? So that's a trade-off. It's still, if you pay it, it's still a very good price, because if I import myself, I will have to pay the taxes, and I will have to put this value for you to pay. So you're gonna have to pay it either way, you know? But buying from here, maybe you don't even get taxed. Não é taxado, but maybe you will. I guess probably you will. I'm going to send ship through ePacket, which is something that you buy from AliExpress, shipping, so it's kind of fast. And there's I guess $16 fee shipping worldwide. I chose one flat fee, so you're going to pay the same shipping fee worldwide, Brazil, United States, Europe, whatever. So anyways, I guess that's it. What can we expect on taxes for Brazilian buyers? I guess it's 60% import duties plus ICMS. I don't know, then it depends on your state. You have to check it. For example, I guess Rio Grande do Sul, where I live, is 20%. So 60% plus 20, so you get around 80. Okay, Juan said, I bought an electric tweaker, which is the exact same thing, except a little beefier. It was 100. Well, man, that's fine, you know. That's not it's very hard to, it's not a competition, because it's hard to compete with bigger companies. When you buy a product like this, like the Traktorino, you're not only buying a product, you know, you're getting to a movement, decentralizing technology, because once you finance a project like this, open source, you allow that people all over the world to be able to download the files. And you said you paid 100, but like for only the fully populated, it's 59. For only 59, you can get it. And of course, there's the shipping, but you can maybe print at your home, like the laser cut, and it's maybe even cheaper than that. But that's not only the... sorry, I was taking a look here. That's not the only goal, you know. You're creating a community. You're creating something, and I don't know. For me, that's very, very appealing. You're actually helping others, you know, while getting a nice instrument for you. you're being part of something. So it's not only a product that you get from a Chinese manufacturer that can make it in thousands, tens of thousands. It's something different. It's like if you play the guitar and you buy a boutique guitar pedal that usually costs more than if you buy off the shelf, but then you're buying from someone, you know. It's like instead of going to the supermarket and buying food from there, you go to your local farmer's market and you buy locally. It's different. It's a different philosophy, and I could talk about it a lot, but just to mention that it's not only hardware, it's also this other thing, this philosophy, this community, and I would be super happy if you and anybody else to join and share this project. Yeah, Sound Priestess said that like the Traktorino is fully customizable. It's not everybody that wants to customize a MIDI controller. Like most of people just want to get it and make it work. But there's also the fun of customizing it, making modules, adding things, making your own, you know. Anyways, guys, that's okay, Juan. Yeah, I didn't mean to lecture you about all of that, but since we are here, I wanted to talk a little bit about it. Thanks, Stefan. Okay, guys, that's it for now. go.musicalnerd.com/Traktorino-shop. The link is here in the description. My WhatsApp. In the page. If you go to the page, you have the button for my WhatsApp. It's not here. Should be here, but like we're gonna make it appear here a WhatsApp icon, and then you can just click it and you'll be able to send me a WhatsApp message. Or in our Instagram too, you'll be able to just send a message. I have an automated message there in Instagram, but you just press a button and say talk to Gustavo, and it will forward you to my WhatsApp. Okay, so I guess that's it for now. Theo said that like I'll be busy making the mappings for virtual DJ record box Serato. Oh man, thank you so much. Thank you so much. That's also the nice thing. We'll be able to put those things on GitHub once you guys make it, and you can make different mappings and just upload. You can use other people's mappings, maybe modifications, and you can contribute. The beauty of open source. And also Algorithm DJ Pro. Yeah, Theo is the DJ wizard, knows everything about DJing, which I don't. So thanks, Theo. So okay, thank you so much. I think we're gonna end here. We have some time to go, more 3 days for the super early bird, more couple days for the early bird, then pre-order, blah blah blah. I'll be super thankful if you can share this with your friends. Go to our Instagram and share the posts. This is a lot of work. By the way, I graduated in music composition. While I was in music, I didn't even know how to solder. You know, I didn't have written a line of code in my life. So that's pretty surreal for me, launching a physical product. And but yeah, we can do those kind of things. And I believe like we are all responsible for building something and not expecting that things are just given to us. Maybe that's in your local music scene, you know, maybe we just can't wait for the government or everybody to just do things for us. We need to build it. Either it's an instrument, either our music festivals, or whatever makes you happy, you know, and it always gives you back. Okay, now Gustavo the philosopher. Thank you guys, thank you so much, and maybe I will do another live in a couple weeks before the pre-order ends. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you in the comments, send me a WhatsApp. Então, so, bye bye, muito obrigado a todos que vieram, meus brasileiros lindos, lindas. Então tá. Annie asked if we can buy the enclosure later. Yes, you'll be able to buy everything whenever you want. The only thing that changes is the price. Okay. Oh, and the enclosure, if you're from Brazil, maybe you can buy straight from me, maybe not. No, I don't think so right now. Only in a couple months I'll have that ready. But okay, but you can buy the enclosure later. You can buy just one thing now, and maybe the next things later. Okay, so bye bye, ciao.